Welcome to Pawan Visual Media and Info Services. My name is Pawan Kumar, and today onwards I am going to post videos on finite element method in my channel. In this video lectures I am going to cover the syllabus, which are very particular for JNTU Anantapur students, JNTU Kakinada and JNTU Hyderabad students. And today's lecture I am going to cover introduction to finite element method. I am going to start finite element method. So here today I am going to cover engineering analysis, number 2, types of engineering analysis, and number 3, what is a finite element method, and advantages and limitations. These are the topics that I am going to cover today. So if you consider any product design, so what is a product design and what are the steps in the product design? I made one video, so in the CAD/CAM subject, just go through it, which is available in my channel. So under design process, so what are the Shingley model, what are the steps in the design, and what is the CAD, computer aided design. In the computer aided design, what are the steps, and those things I discussed in that. So engineering analysis, which comes under engineering design. So engineering design, we are going to concentrate on calculating the dimensions of the component for given working conditions and loading conditions, and or in order to perform certain things. So those things we are going to, for that what is the shape, size, thickness of the materials are required, whose dimensions we are going to estimate, we are going to calculate in the design process. The analysis comes under the one of the steps in the design. So what this engineering analysis will do means, it is going to estimate the stresses, strains, deformations, deflections, and any other, the temperatures, resulting temperatures that we are going to get in the component at the during the working conditions, that we are going to estimate, and we are going to estimate with these things with assumed dimensions. Those dimensions we are going to validate whether it is going to withstand or not. So in the assumed dimensions, we are going to estimate the stresses that are going to develop, the strains that are going to develop, the deformation of the component, deflections, and the temperature that is going to develop. All these estimations we can do for a component with assumed dimensions, and those dimensions are validated if it is within the limits. This comes under engineering analysis. This is one step of actual total design of the component. So this engineering design, engineering analysis may be classified into 3 types. One is by using analytical methods we can do engineering analysis, or by experimental method we can do, and the third one is numerical techniques. That is estimation of the stress that is going to develop, stress, strain, deformation, deflections. All these things can be estimated by using analytical methods, by using experimental methods, by using numerical methods. Then what is the limitations of each method, and what is the finite element method? So here in the analytical methods, this particular method may be useful for the geometries of the component which are in regular shape, that may be circular, square, rectangle or elliptical. For all these things, standard equations are available. And similarly, if you these areas, perimeters, or all these things, standard equations are available. Similarly, we can able to predict, we can able to calculate the available equations. We can able to calculate what is stress, what is the deformation, what is the deflection, and number of parameters we can able to calculate. The resulting parameters we can able to estimate, because it is having regular geometries. For all the regular geometries, the analytical equations are available, standard equations are available, standard mathematical equations are available. With aid of that one, we can able to calculate the stress, strain, deformation, all other predictions. But this method may not be possible because it is having the component having irregular shapes. For that, this particular method may not be useful. So irregular shape of bodies, this method may not be useful. For regular shape of body, we can useful this particular method. And experimental methods. So the advantage of this particular method is simple, less time, standard equations are available. Without ambiguity, we can able to calculate it. Simple. Less time consumption for designing of the product and all. The next method is experimental method. Experimental method means there is no equations, there is no mathematical rules. Everything will go for conducting the experimentations. So this particular method may not be suitable for all your engineering applications, because if you want to do experimentation for all your designs, then it may not be possible to design a product. Because suppose if it is a civil engineering construction of a bridge, construction of a dam, and for that first construct the dam, then we will conduct the experiment. If it is a withstanding means, then it is okay, it is otherwise means it is rejected. So like that, the engineering application means, engineering analysis means, so what is the loss that we can able to predict? So once the dam is constructed, after that is not withstanding means, then gone. So, but this particular method may be useful for engineering applications where the behavior of the system or component depends on so many variables. So for that, the analytical equations may not itself may not provide exact solution, or we cannot able to predict the behavior of the component. For that, we'll go for experimentation. So like heat transfer subject, we have a data book. In the data book, we have standard equations. With the standard equations, we can able to calculate the temperature at the end of the body, middle of the body, and what is the after 30 seconds, what is the temperature, like that. So those equations we generated from the experimental methods. By conducting the number of experiments, some people were detected and they given as thumb rules. In the design data book, thickness of the component equal to 3.5 L, length equal to 3.5 or 4 times D, like that. So these thumb equations may not be applicable for all your engineering applications. So that is the main drawback of experimental method. So this particular method may not be applied for all your engineering applications. Next one is but the thing is, everything we have to go for experimental methods. The thing is, this can be applied for irregular shape of body, because just going for experimentations. The third method is numerical technique. In the numerical technique, you can apply this one for any type of geometry, any type of working conditions, any type of analysis, but the thing is, it may not provide exact solution. It may not provide exact solution. It will provide approximate solution. So finite element method, numerical technique methods of engineering analysis may not provide exact solution of stress, strain, deformation, like that. It will provide approximate solution, but the Fortunately, all your engineering applications won't require exact solution. Majority of engineering applications won't require exact solution. Approximate solution is enough. So because of this advantage, we are going to apply this particular things. So even the geometrical body having irregular shapes and combination complex loading conditions, complex material properties variations, for that this particular method is applied, even it is having some approximate solution. Approximate solution means error. So the finite element method is one of the finite numerical techniques. So this can be applied for any type of geometries, any type of working conditions, any type of loading conditions, any type of boundary conditions, and you can able to predict all your deformation, deflections, all other heat, temperature, all your requirements with a little bit of error, that is approximate solutions. And the thing is, it is a separate procedure. So here I am going to explain what is the finite element method in a simple geometrical simple example, and we will go for what is the advantages and limitations of the particular method. So in the so here here I am going to take the for demonstrating the method involved in the finite element method procedure with a simple example, finding the circumference of a circle or perimeter of a circle having the diameter d. Suppose for this I want to calculate the perimeter of a circle P equal to, this is done experimentally because we have taken some thread and measure this circumference of the circle with a thread, and the amount is, suppose the value is P. You measure that one, the circumference of a circle whose value is P, and equate that one to the diameter of the circle. It is approximately equal to some constant into d, and d, if you take any circle, this value, this equation is valid with some constant, so pi. So now it is exact solution by experimental method. Suppose that d is known, we can able to predict the perimeter of the circle with pi into d. Pi is a constant. So with finding the experimentation, so measuring this one and equate it to diameter d, and then even any diameter, so the perimeter of the circle if you measure and equate it to diameter, and the ratio you got it is only k is 22/7. Now it is standardized, the exact solution for the perimeter of the circle is equal to p equal to pi d. Now if you want to predict the same exact solution in the finite element method, it's not at all possible because the finite element method will give the approximate solution. So what is the procedure, how to calculate the solution for this one? Now what I am doing is I am dividing this circumference of a circle with a number of known shapes. So here it is a simple circumference. I am simply dividing with the line segments. So this may be first line segment, second line segment, third line segment, fourth and fifth and sixth. So then each line segment is length is L1. So if you want to calculate the circumference of a circle, it may be by this particular method P, which is maybe equal to, or suppose say P dash, the circumference of a circle is P dash, which is equal to 6 line segments, 6 into, suppose say length of the segment is L1. So it is P dash is the perimeter of a circle by new method, FEM method. By FEM, P dash is the 6 into L1, where 6 is the number of line segments, L1 is the length of the line segment. This particular L1, this L1 is same for all your curve segments. But P and P dash is not at all equal because lot of error is there. Lot of error is there. Now when it is not equal, this solution is not exact solution. So whatever the p dash you got it from the experiment, this particular method is not exact solution. Exact solution is pi d p, so not equal. So then what we are doing is, so we are dividing the circumference not with 6 line segments, we are going for 12 line segments. So p1 dash is 12 into L2. L2 is the line segment. Suppose say this is divided into 12 line segments like this. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 like that. 12 equal line segments. Then it will be L2, each line segment is suppose say L2. So this is P1 dash is 12 into suppose say L1, so L2. Line segment L2 suppose say. So LT is some value, that's all. Each line segment is L2, 12 into 2. Suppose even that if you compare this one, again P is not equal to P1 dash. Suppose say if you divide this one P2 dash, so 24 into L3, 24 line segments like this you can divide and measure each line segment. It may be L3. You cumulatively put 24 into L3, it is not exactly equal to, it is equal to P2 dash, P again not equal to P2 dash. Ante that means that the P2 whatever you are going to get here, that is a perimeter estimated by the finite element method. P is the perimeter by exact method. These two are not equal. Even if you increase P3, P4, P5 like that, this 24, 48, 48, 56, 56, 128, 212 like that, if you increase this particular number, Pn dash equal to n into Ln. Pn dash is n in number of line segments is n, and Ln is the length of the line segment. If you divide this circumference into n line segments, whose the length of the line segment is Ln, and if you cumulatively put all these line segments n into Ln, which is equal to Pn dash, which is again not equal to the exact solution. So if you want to, if you observe these things, so the error is reducing. The difference between P minus P1 P dash and P1 dash minus P minus P1 dash and P minus P2 dash and P minus P3 dash like that, this is nothing but error. This error goes on reducing with increase of this number. Even if it is n, this Pn dash is not equal to Pn, P, that is it may not be equal to exact solution. Why? Because the number of line segments are finite in number, and we are going to get the solution for this one nearer to the solution of this one, but not exactly equal to circumference of this circle. So if you want to get exact solution, this perimeter should be equal to, if n is infinitive, perimeter by exact solution is equal to perimeter by finite element method solution is equal if n equal to infinitive. Number of line segments are equal to infinitive. Infinitive number of infinitive line segments means what? Infinitive in number. So that's why we are taking the finite number and we are going to predict this one. So n may be, so whatever the requirements, whatever it is possible to count, that one finite lines segments, n is finite line segments, and we can able to predict the circumference of a circle or perimeter of a circle and equate it to this one, so which is having some error. P minus P accepted is having some error. This is accepted accepted error. So because of this, it is not providing the exact solution, it is providing the approximate solutions. So here the name, the line segments is known as element. The line segment which is dividing the entire geometry in number of line segments, that is known as element. Each element is connected with another element with a point known as node. So the number of elements in this procedure is finite in number, finite in the line segments. The line segment is known as element, and whose number is finite in number. Because of this method, we are going to predict the circumference of a circle with a finite element method. Number of elements in this particular method is finite number, and element is shape and method, finite element method. So this particular method can be applicable for any irregular shape of geometries, and we can able to predict the requirements like stress, strain, and other things with similar methods that we can apply for predicting the stress, strain, and other requirements. And this is a completely different procedure. Now, what is the advantage of this particular method? What are the advantages of this particular method? Means, number one, what are the main drawbacks of analytical method? The analytical method may be applicable only for regular shapes. Here, this particular method may be applied for, method may be applicable for all geometrical shape, all geometrical shapes of the object. Components. Number two, any type of loading conditions, applicable for any type of loading and boundary conditions. Number three, applicable for all variation of material properties. If the material having the property variation, then this is applicable. Number four, any type of analysis, applicable for any type of analysis like heat transfer, or structural, dynamic loading conditions, dynamic behavior, or fluid mechanics applications, and electromagnetic applications, or medical applications, medical and whatnot. All the fields we can able to apply this particular procedure. And what are the limitations of this particular method? Means, for the analysis purpose, we are going to apply this particular method, requires a lot of calculations. So these calculations we can't able to do with hand calculators and all. So it requires a digital computer, computer is required, and lengthy calculations. But when it is advantageous means for small components we can think that this particular procedure, lengthy procedure is why it is complex calculations and all. If it is a complex shape, you can able to predict the stress, strain, deformation at any location with a value that is not possible with the conventional methods. So at any locations we can able to calculate the stress, strain, deformation, deflection and temperature and intensity of stress. All these values we can able to predict in any location of the component. Suppose the object is having some irregular shape. At this location I want to predict some behavior, some results, maybe stress, strain and all. It can be possible with approximate solution. So that is the advantage of them. But the thing is, we require for predicting, for calculating and all, we require digital computers, and lengthy calculations are available. This is about today's topic, and if you have any doubts, you can mail to me. My mail ID is dpk08626@gmail.com, and it is also available in my channel itself. And thank you, friends. If you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe it. Thank you, friends.